Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello, welcome. I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
From Top Notch Sports. Instead, we're going to go over the 2021 NFL Draft for the Green Bay Packers. Okay, look. Matt LaFleur. Okay. Comes in. I like Matt LaFleur personally. I don't mind Jordan Love either. But Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback this year. They go out. They get a cornerback in the first round and Eric Stokes. What do you think?
Well, just so everybody knows, last year I gave this team my lowest all-time draft grade with a D-. They did it better than that this year. Eric Stokes is a good pick. I don't mind the pick whatsoever, but I still think you should have went wide receiver. You continue to pitch your franchise quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, off, one of the best to ever suit him up. But Eric Stokes is a good fit for this defense because Kevin King has been pretty terrible. So taking Eric Stokes in the first round does help a need at the cornerback position. I like him as a prospect. I think he can do a little bit of everything. So I do like the pick, although I probably would have went wide receiver.
Yeah. Look, Eric Stokes, I'm a huge fan of Eric Stokes just as a prospect. Again, we can kind of maybe question the pick. Again, not giving Rodgers that weapon that I know he probably would have loved. But anyway, this kid is fast, and he knows it on film. He makes a lot of deflections and is great on the deep ball. I mean, his speed is just uncanny. All right. And I even see this guy jam the wide receivers at the line of scrimmage. I can just tell how much this kid truly loves the game of football. So if they take my fourth overall, fourth ranked cornerback, where they got him, I'm going to be honest with you. I absolutely love Eric Stokes. So I'm going to say I love the pick. I'm going to give this individual pick an A+. I love Stokes. They do start a at corner. They need one. Put him opposite side of Jair Alexander. I think that he'd definitely be a nice 1-2 power punch, although we could question and say maybe they should have went quarterback here. I mean, I'm quarterback, wide receiver here. They went quarterback last year. All right, here we go. Next pitch is Josh Myers. Go ahead.
I had Josh Myers, my third ranked center. He can also play some guard, so it's a good pick there. The big thing about him was I did like him. Packers could use the help on the offensive line, but he was a big part of the team when J.K. Dobbins became the first Ohio State running back to run for over 2,000 yards. So that's very impressive. We know this guy can block in the run game. That's what he's going to need to do. So I like this pick too, to be honest with you. Making an offensive line stronger, that's how you win football games.
Yeah. Look, I'm pretty sure they lost Corey Linsley, right?
Yeah.
So, again, as a center, I mean, this is a pretty dang good pick. There was better interior offensive alignment, I feel like, on the board. But, again, he was a pure center. That's what he is. And he was my third-ranked center behind Landon Dickerson and Creed Humphrey. Were either of them on the board at this point?
Yes, I don't know.
I'll have to go back and check that. But here's what I say about Josh Myers while I go and check that real fast. I'll give you my notes on him. And then that will really dictate my grade on the individual pick. I did give it a little bit of a lower grade, and it might have been because one of them were on the board. I'll check that in a second. But here's what I said. I said, as a center, he's a tough guy. He likes to run people into the ground at times. Not often, but he does at times. Better pass blocker than run blocker, but he can run block. And when he does, he either does timeout. He either does. I mean, he usually shows attitude or he whiffs sometimes. So he either runs people into the ground or as a run blocker, I'm saying, or he whiffs, right? So when he run blocks, he's a good pass blocker. He either runs people into the ground or he whiffs is what I was trying to say. What I was going to go with, though, let's see who was on the board here. Was Landon Dickerson. When did the Eagles take Dickerson?
Second round.
Second round, let's see. Dickerson. Yeah, so Dickerson was gone. And who's the other one I'm saying? I had Humphrey in front of him, too.
I don't know. I don't know where he went.
Humphrey.
He might have been going too, honestly.
Sorry, Josh Myers. No, Humphrey went right after. So I do feel like this was a little bit. I mean, it was literally one pick after the Chiefs took Creed Humphrey. So I gave it a C+ for the draft grade. He was my 7th ranked interior offensive lineman, but he was my 3rd ranked center. And I feel like Creed Humphrey was a little bit better, but hey, it is what it is. Next guy, Amari Rogers. Go ahead.
Yeah, Amari Rogers. They finally go and take a wide receiver, but I think there were better ones on the board at this pick. I believe. See, this has been so long ago since we looked at when guys got. Teelan Wallace was definitely still on the board, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Who else was still available? I know there were still a lot of decent receivers available. That's why, because Amari Rogers fell out of my top 10 when scouting, and then the Packers brought in Randall Cobb. So I don't exactly know what Amari Rogers' role is going to be this year. So that's why I would like to see him take somebody like a Teelan Wallace, who you could launch the ball down the field to. He can go up over somebody and get it. That's not what they did. This is definitely a position of need based off of Marquise Valdez, Scantlin, and Alan Lazard. Like, they're not very good wide receivers. They can't stay on the field. They both have dropping problems. So to just add another guy, Amari Rogers, in a deep wide receiver class is not a bad pick, but I think there were better names to go with.
Yeah, I mean, let's go. Teelan Wallace, he was my favorite receiver in this draft class, which might sound crazy, but he was there. Jalen Darden was here. He went in the next round. I'm trying to look to see who else went in the next few rounds. To me, Amari Rogers was my 20th ranked receiver in this year's draft. 20th. So definitely was a reach pick. There was a lot of guys left on the board. Amir Smith-Marset, who went to the Vikings. I liked him better. There was a few guys. There was a few guys, definitely, for sure. But look, when I looked at Amari Rogers, I said, this kid seems to get separation on a lot of his routes. He can also break a few tackles, used as a returner as well. Not the most talented receiver, but he wasn't terrible when I watched him. Again, it was like, he's all right, but he's not one of those guys I think are going to stand out now. Could he be one of these guys that Aaron Rodgers makes look good? Absolutely. But I don't think that he is the most talented receiver out there.
Aaron Rodgers might not even be throwing to him.
I know.
I just think it's questionable. Like the Packers seem to always do questionable things to me, and this is just another one.
Yep. How about Royce Newman? Did you scout him?
I don't know who he is. No.
All right. T. Darrell Slayton. You didn't scout him? All right. T. Darrell Slayton is, here's what I said about him. I said he mauls offensive linemen. He's a large man who can bull rush them, good in the run game, and uses power in the pass game. Just a bull rush kind of a guy. I had him listed as my 5th ranked defensive tackle. I gave this pick an A, very good value for where they got him. And then, do you have anybody else scouted? I got Kylan Hill.
Yeah, I got Kylan Hill too. But did Kylan Hill make the team?
Yeah, I think so. Did he?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
He played pretty good.
I don't know if he made the team or not.
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on, let's see where I had him. You can talk if you want, real quick.
All right, yeah. So I said this was a guy I had ranked really high, and then slowly throughout the scouting process, while some biasy comes in, and you get the favorite players you like, Adam slowly falling down my board. But he was ranked by him 9th ranked running back. I said this kid has good vision, is able to power his way through tough situations. He's another good running back that can do a little bit of everything. He can be special because of his ability to be able to do a little bit of everything, right? He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He can do a little bit of pass blocking at times. He has good vision. He can power his way through some tough holes, tight holes too. Pretty dang good. I gave this pick an A-. He was my 9th ranked running back, went in the 7th round. That's very good value. So I like the pick a lot. And I like it. Go ahead.
Kylan Hill fell out of my top 10.
Okay.
Very close. I put Jarrett Patterson in there over him.
I did too.
But when I watched Kylan Hill, I thought he was a physical runner. I noticed something, like the guy had an impressive stiff arm, and that's something I like. That's something I like to see in a running back. He can throw a stiff arm. It's important. Derrick Henry does it all the time. Gets extra yardage all day long. And he can catch the football, like you were saying, so he has the ability to be a 3-down back in the NFL. So this is a good pick, but I don't know where he's going to fit in with this Packers offense, being that you have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. You almost would have liked to see Kylan Hill go someplace else.
Yeah, I know. Which kind of stinks, but then again, you got to look at it this way too. I mean, they used a little bit of 3 running backs last year. I mean, if Hill can come in, especially if Jones gets banged up, I mean, you might want to put Hill in passing situations over Dillon. But look, here's my thing. Really, 3 pretty dang solid running backs over there in Green Bay. You know my opinion. You and me both like A.J. Dillon a lot. And I was a huge fan of Aaron Jones too. Even the fantasy, if he just had a draft, and I like him. But all right, here we go. So look, that's a Green Bay Packers draft. Mike, what is your grade?
Okay, so I like the Eric Stokes pick. Josh Myers pick's a solid pick. Amari Rogers, not a huge fan of. And then the running back's a good pick. So Green Bay, I think overall, based off of drafting in need, you needed a corner. I don't necessarily know if you needed one more than you needed a receiver, because you could have one of the best offenses in this league if you added another receiver alongside Devontae Adams. So I do think I'm going to give you a B- for this draft, because I think you could have taken positions of need before other positions. I know cornerback was a need, But I think maybe in the second round you could have looked wide receiver instead of waiting until late third round.
I hear you on that. Look, I'm gonna give them actually a pretty dang good grade just because of the fact I really like the T. Look, when you look first pick, I know questionable position. Really love the player with Eric Stokes. I like that pick. Josh Myers, they get rid of Corey Lindsley. They bring in Josh Myers. That was a need. So they filled in a need there. I think they could have went with a better option, but again, it wasn't like they went with an absolute reach pick, right? It could be just who they like better at that point. Amari Rogers is my only question mark this entire draft. Like, there was definitely better receivers available, right? I mean, you and me both agreed on that. Like, there was definitely better receivers available. But then you go with T. Darrell Slayton. I gave that pick an A, and I gave the Kylan Hill pick an A minus. So across the board, you got A plus, C plus, C plus, A minus. I'm gonna give this team a B plus. I feel like it would have been an A minus. I had A minus written down on my sheet, but I just did not like the Josh Myers pick. I feel like I still like Humphrey better, and Amari Rogers. There was definitely somebody else better that they could have taken there. Again, you got Thornton, you got Thielen Wallace. You got a lot more options that you could have chose over Amari Rogers. But T. Darrell Slayton's a nice pick. Kylan Hill made the starting team, and Eric Stokes, in my opinion, is one of the best corners in this draft. So overall, pretty dang good draft. Now, this Packers team, Mike, what happens next year? I mean, just real fast off the top of your head, Rodgers is probably gone. I mean, do you think – I know you weren't a fan of last year's draft, so I'm just going to add this in here. You weren't a fan of the Love pick. Will he finally debut next year as a starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers?
Possible, but that proves my point. You don't take a first rounder that debuts 3 years later.
Yeah. I mean –
that's why that draft got a D minus.
Yeah, if he doesn't do – especially if he struggles. This guy struggles. It was absolutely a waste pick, right? He did nothing for the first 2 years. Comes in year 3, struggles. If he plays good and the guy's talented, but you know what then? Then I guess you can't blame him. I like Jordan Love when he came out of college. We'll wait and see. For some reason, they didn't suit him up last year, which is concerning. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But guys, that's all we have now. Coaching grades, standings, and all that coming soon. So be sure to leave a like, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon. Peace. We are.
Feel better.
See you guys soon. Peace.